What's up guys, I'm Sean. Today's video I'm going to be changing the factory strut tower brace to a OEM M3 strut tower brace on my 2009 BMW 335 E90. This is the OEM M3 strut tower kit I got from ECS Tuning. It's roughly $350 to $400. Factory strut tower brace on the 335 only has one mounting point here and one in the center. The main reason I'm doing it because I have trouble getting to my TC Klein strut dampening adjuster. I have to remove this, get this out of the way before I can turn that to soft or stiff when I go to the track. With the M3 kit, there's an opening in the center, so it makes it a lot easier to adjust the strut. This part, the center part, is fixed, so it should be stiffer than the factory 335 one. I'll show you a comparison between the two. So we're going to remove the engine cowl cover to get to the strut tower brace. Pop this off. We're going to pop this one off. This is the ECU cover. We're going to turn this little clip for the sensor. Move it out of the way. Remove the 8mm bolt there and the one on the other side. And the two, so there's 2, 4, 6 bolts on this. And now we're going to pull this off. You just pull that off, and you can use a little screwdriver and pry right here. Use a plastic. You can use a screwdriver or whatever tool you have to pry right here to pull out this wiring harness, and then you just took this up. The whole thing will come out. So I'm going to loosen this end of the strut bar with a E14 Torx bit. Loosen that side too. Remove this plastic cover. And remove that center bolt with a multi-T 14mm. So now with the bars loose, I'll show you how this bar is probably not as strong as the M3 one. The two bars basically overlap one another. And once everything's loose, you see how this, you can just move this around. You can move this around. I'll just slide this out. See, basically overlaps one another. But if you look at the M3 bar here, it's one solid piece that will not flex like the factory one. Factory strut tower brace has been removed. Next step is loosen the 10mm bolts underneath. There's 3 of them. Once those 3 bolts are loose, you can remove the weather stripping here and give it pry this out. So you just put this piece forward, down, and out. Before we can insert the M3 brace into this piece, we're gonna have to pop off one of these sides. So I just popped off both of these pieces, inserted the brace into this plastic piece. It takes a little bit of force, but it goes in. You don't need to cut or trim or anything like that. And then you just slide on these corner rubber pieces. So this piece is ready to be reinstalled to the car. So on the factory braces, you can just slide them in. You see this piece of metal right there blocking the M3 strut bar from sliding in. So we're gonna have to lift this plastic piece up a little bit, and we can maneuver this over that piece. So I found it easier to remove the middle windshield wiper 16mm socket and basically pop this cover up and give you plenty of clearance. So I loosely installed the center bolt. Now I'm going to reinstall the 3 bolts that hold this plastic piece together, put in the windshield wiper, and snap this back into place. So the hardest part is done. Now we're going to loosen the 13mm strut bolts and finish the rest off. Your core is on the ground before you loosen these 13mm bolts because it will screw up your camber. The kit came with these little studs that we're going to install on the front part of the brace. So I just installed these strut tower mounts. Make sure that these special nuts go flat and fit flush. So all the hardware has been loosely installed. Now we're going to tighten everything up to torque specs. Tighten these nuts to 25 foot-pounds. These nuts and bolts to 25 foot-pounds. And then this one to 74 foot-pounds. So everything is torqued down to specs. And now before, when I had the factory strut tower brace in the way of my strut adjusters, now I have open access to it. I can easily get to it. And who knows if the strut brace really helps or not. Some people say it does. My suspension is really set up pretty stiff for the track. My main reason for doing it is so I have easier access to that. But at the same time, it probably does help because, as I mentioned before, the M3 strut brace, the center is a V, whereas the factory, they just overlap together. Snap on these little M caps. And basically put everything back together and you're good to go. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.